Why is Japan facing a series of crises like earthquakes, tsunamis, and plane crashes? This question has been bouncing around in our heads, and today, we are going to dive into it. Japan, a country renowned for its rich culture, technological advancements, and vibrant landscapes, has also become synonymous with frequent natural disasters and, more recently, an unsettling number of plane crashes. These crises are not just headlines that momentarily shock the world. They are recurring, devastating events that have a profound impact on the lives of the Japanese people. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. In recent years, earthquakes have become a common occurrence in Japan. In fact, it's estimated that Japan experiences around 1,500 earthquakes each year. That's roughly 4 earthquakes a day. These aren't just little tremors either. Many of these earthquakes are powerful enough to cause significant damage and have led to catastrophic tsunamis. Speaking of tsunamis, these massive sea waves, triggered by underwater earthquakes, have historically wreaked havoc on Japan's coastal regions. The tsunami that followed the Great East Japan Earthquake in 2011 is a grim reminder of the destructive potential of these natural disasters. Thousands of lives were lost, and the impact is still felt today. And then there are the plane crashes. While not as frequent as earthquakes or tsunamis, these incidents have added another layer of crisis to Japan's list. There have been a handful of major plane crashes in Japan over the past few decades, each one a tragic event that has led to loss of life and raised questions about air safety. The impact of these crises on Japan is immense. Beyond the immediate loss of life and destruction of property, these events disrupt the economy, strain emergency services, and leave long-lasting psychological scars on the survivors and the country as a whole. These crises are not random occurrences, but rather the result of several interconnected factors. As we continue our journey, we'll delve deeper into the geographical, technological, and human elements that contribute to the frequency and impact of these events in Japan. Stay tuned. Japan's geographical location plays a significant role in its susceptibility to natural disasters. Nestled in the heart of the Pacific Ocean, Japan sits directly within the Pacific Ring of Fire, a major area in the basin of the Pacific Ocean where many earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occur. This unassuming ring accounts for a staggering 80% of the world's largest earthquakes. Imagine a horseshoe shape that spans 40,000 kilometers. It's associated with a nearly continuous series of oceanic trenches, volcanic arcs, volcanic belts, and plate movements. It covers several tectonic plates, including the vast Pacific Plate and the smaller Philippine Sea Plate, which are in constant motion. These plates don't always slide past each other smoothly, and when they stick, the surrounding Earth can warp and distort. When the stress becomes too great, the rocks slip, releasing a massive amount of energy in the form of an earthquake. Japan, sitting on the intersection of several of these plates, is no stranger to this geological activity. The result? Frequent and often powerful earthquakes. But the seismic activity doesn't stop at shaking the ground. Underwater earthquakes, particularly those occurring at subduction zones, where one tectonic plate is forced under another, can displace vast amounts of water, triggering tsunamis. These tsunamis, seismic sea waves, are not noticeable in the open ocean. But when they reach shallower waters near the coast, they slow down and increase in height, often wreaking havoc on coastal communities. Japan's extensive coastline and high population density make it particularly vulnerable to these destructive waves. So, when we talk about the geographical quandary Japan finds itself in, we are talking about a nation that sits atop a seismic hotspot, with the constant threat of earthquakes and the tsunamis they can trigger. It's a complex and dynamic system where the Earth's most fundamental forces meet. So, Japan's geographical position puts it right in the path of frequent and devastating natural disasters. Climate change is not just about warmer weather, it is a significant factor escalating the severity of natural disasters. Now, what does this mean? It means that the rising temperatures we experience aren't merely making our summers hotter. They're stirring up a tempest of climatic shifts that provoke more intense and frequent natural disasters. Let's talk about weather patterns. As the Earth warms, it affects the atmosphere and the oceans, leading to more severe weather conditions. We are seeing storms that are more intense, droughts that last longer, and in some places even more snowfall. These changes in weather patterns can trigger earthquakes, tsunamis, and other natural disasters, Now, let's dive a little deeper into how this relates to tsunamis. Tsunamis are typically caused by undersea earthquakes, but rising sea levels, another symptom of climate change, can make these tsunamis more destructive. When the sea level is higher, tsunamis can reach further inland, causing more damage and affecting more people and structures. Moreover, as the planet heats up, the polar ice caps are melting at an alarming rate, causing sea levels to rise even further. This doesn't just give tsunamis a broader canvas to wreak havoc, but also increases the likelihood of landslides under the sea, which can trigger tsunamis. Climate change also affects the frequency of these disasters. As the planet warms, the conditions that lead to natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis become more common. This can lead to an increase in the number of these events occurring each year. In other words, climate change is like a pressure cooker for natural disasters. It's amplifying their strength, expanding their reach, and ramping up their frequency. It's a global problem that's making local issues like the ones Japan is facing even more challenging to manage. Climate change is intensifying the force and frequency of these disasters, making them even more unpredictable and challenging to manage. And as we move forward, understanding this escalating factor will be a crucial part of our collective response to these crises. While natural disasters are a constant threat, plane crashes have emerged as a new crisis for Japan. In the recent years, Japan, already grappling with frequent earthquakes and tsunamis, has witnessed a worrying surge in plane crashes. Each incident, a stark reminder of the fragility of human life, jolts the nation's sense of safety and security. Let's take a moment to discuss some of the recent incidents. In 2023 alone, we've seen multiple plane crashes, each one a tragedy in its own right. These are not just numbers. Each crash represents lives lost, families shattered, and dreams unfulfilled. Now, what's causing these crashes? The answers are as complex as they are distressing. Weather conditions, for instance, have been noted as a contributing factor. Japan's geographical location makes it susceptible to turbulent weather patterns, which can make flying a risky endeavor. Heavy rains, strong winds, and sudden shifts in weather can all play havoc with a plane's flight path. Technical faults are another potential cause. Despite stringent safety measures and regular maintenance, aircrafts are complex machines that can malfunction. A single technical glitch can have catastrophic consequences. Then there's human error, which, as uncomfortable as it is to admit, is a factor in a significant number of crashes. Even the most experienced pilots are not immune to mistakes, and in high-pressure situations, these can prove fatal. But it's important to remember that every plane crash is a unique event with its own set of circumstances. While we can identify common factors, it's rarely as simple as pointing to a single cause. Often it's a combination of factors that culminate in these tragic incidents. The increasing number of plane crashes adds another layer of crisis to an already disaster-prone nation. It's a stark reminder of the challenges that Japan faces and the need for continued vigilance and innovation in the field of aviation safety. Despite these challenges, Japan continues to show resilience and innovation in its response. Ever since these crises unfolded, the country has been steadfast in its resolve to adapt and overcome. Japan's architectural prowess has been a cornerstone of its response. Japanese engineers have been developing and implementing cutting-edge technology to fortify buildings against the destructive power of earthquakes. This includes systems that allow structures to dance with the tremors, effectively reducing the impact. Building regulations have been redefined, with seismic resistance now a fundamental requirement in design and construction. Additionally, the nation has made significant strides in early warning systems for tsunamis. These systems, coupled with comprehensive evacuation plans, have become crucial in providing precious minutes for residents to seek safety before a tsunami hits. Japan's commitment to disaster preparedness is evident in its efforts to create a culture of readiness with regular drills and community education programs. Air travel in Japan has also seen rigorous safety enhancements in response to the plane crash crisis. To mitigate risks, stringent safety protocols have been implemented, with regular inspections, rigorous pilot training, and state-of-the-art navigation systems. The country's dedication to safety is unyielding, ensuring that every flight adheres to the highest standards of safety. But perhaps what stands out most in Japan's response is the indomitable spirit of its people. From the engineers designing quake-resistant structures, to the citizens participating in tsunami drills, to the pilots rigorously training to ensure safe flights, everyone plays a part in Japan's resilience story. Japan's response to these crises is a testament to its resilience, adaptability, and commitment to safeguarding its people. It serves as a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, human innovation and determination can pave the way for a safer, more secure future.